Ghosthunter is a third-person action shooter horror parody game released in 2003, which was developed and published by Sony. From the incredible minimal effort I've put into researching this game, it's hard to tell whether there was ever a PC port planned in the future. However, I feel like this is probably unlikely due to the fact it got so many mixed reviews upon its release, due to some very strange game design choices made by Sony and the development team. When it was released in North America and Japan by Namco, the game had undergone numerous changes, such as making the combat a bit more difficult and challenging, as well as easing the difficulty of the puzzles, despite the fact they are not that hard in the original version anyway, and only a simpleton could really ever struggle with them. Throughout the game, you are playing as a man called Lazarus Jones, who is probably the most intolerable cis white male from the early 2000s I've ever encountered.
She likes me. No doubt about it, she likes me.
I mean, his name is Lazarus Jones, for fuck's sake, what do you expect? The game starts off with Lazarus and his partner Anna Steele investigating what seems to be an abandoned school named Montse High. Steele then explains to Jones how there have been a series of murders in the school, and that both the killer and the murder weapon have been missing since.
Is there an arrest?
No, he vanished. No weapon ever found. No motive.
Once inside the school, the two decide to split up, with Jones investigating the basement. Jones stumbles across what appears to be a lab, with this absolutely huge CRT screen, as well as a big red button on a huge storage device. Jones, being the incredible detective that he is, decides to push the red button, releasing a bunch of paranormal spooks and scary mutants. During the outbreak, Jones is knocked unconscious. After some time, he wakes up dazed and confused and tries to leave the basement in order to find his partner Steele. Once we find Steele, we are immediately thrown into a cutscene in which Steele is kidnapped by a scary, spooky, freaky-looking ghost. Once this happens, Jones returns to the lab and finds that the computer screen has now turned on and is host to a frankly rude computer AI, who quickly scolds him and explains the consequences of his actions.
Hey! Can you hear me?
Estimate, you can be heard in Texas.
Get fucking wrecked, you absolute nerd. From here, we are thrown into a very basic tutorial section where he is tasked with recapturing the ghosts in the school. From the very start of the game, it is suggested that there was a professor who was responsible for the murders, and after some more ghost hunting, we eventually catch up with the professor on an old prison island, where he explains he is in fact innocent of the murders, and it is the doing of a ghost named Hawksmoor, who is the same ghost we saw at the beginning of the game and kidnapped our partner. From this, Jones and the professor team up in order to hunt down Hawksmoor and rescue Steele. During the final boss fight, Jones is killed, and the game gives you a false ending, where it boots you to the main menu before automatically loading again, where you take the control of the AI who has hijacked a ghost hunting mech. And I'm serious, because he's hijacked a ghost hunting mech in order to take down Hawksmoor. During the final battle of Hawksmoor, the AI sacrifices himself in order to rescue Jones and bring him back to life. Once alive again, Jones and Steele make a break for the portal in order to make it back to the human realm so they can escape the powerful Hawksmoor. Hawksmoor goes down in a flash of white, and we fade into a cutscene in which Jones and Steele make it through the portal alive. They come out the other side, and once they both wake up, they leave the school. They both decide between them to never mention this again, and that is how the game ends, which I think personally is an incredibly disappointing end to an otherwise okay game. The gameplay in Ghosthunter is pretty simple, with two basic mechanics being capture the ghosts and puzzle solving. Most of the puzzles, however, were removed in the US and Japanese releases. As well as these puzzle sections, there was also some forced stealth segments in the game, which served no real purpose other than to pad out the game's length. Most of the time I ended up brute forcing these in order to just get through the level as quickly as possible. One of the main reasons I wanted to get through the game as quickly as I could is because the game's save feature seems completely useless and broken. The game allows you to save wherever you like throughout, but will load you from the previous checkpoint regardless of where you saved. The graphics in Ghosthunter aren't bad at all, and in fact are pretty good. The creepy areas feel suitably eerie, and the characters and the enemy designs are solid throughout. During my research, I had a look at the initial concept art for Jones and Steele, and they both look a lot cooler than they do in the final game. I'm not sure what the decision for this was, but in the concept art for Jones specifically, he looks a lot like a young Brad Pitt. As I previously said, the enemy design in the game is quite impressive, with the ghosts and the mutants being incredibly unsettling, and it certainly adds a lot more tension to the game. One of the strongest points of Ghosthunter is the music, and whilst there are no standout tracks for me, I do think it is effective at what it's trying to do. As well as the music, there is the sound design, which is absolutely stellar, from the weapon sounds to the environment sounds. Like I said before, on release, this game received a lot of mixed reviews, with an average of 69% on Metacritic. PlayStation Magazine are quoted by saying the graphics are just shy of amazing, and the level designs are solid and believable. Whereas Eurogamer stated that if you're the kind of gamer that enjoys immersion, atmospheric graphics, and surreal world to explore, then you might well find the patience to plough through the Ghosthunter's many faults. In conclusion to this, I think that a lot of the criticisms towards the game are slightly unfair. Either way, it definitely wasn't the game that Sony hoped it would be, and leaving many to forget that it ever existed. If I was to give this game a redundant number out of 10, I would probably give it an 8. If you made it this far into the video, I would like to congratulate you for tolerating my voice for this long. I'm not naturally very good at talking, so this was very much out of my comfort zone for me to attempt. Obviously, the YouTube algorithm is a lot kinder to like 5-second meme videos, which this isn't. This is like a 10-minute, if that, fucking YouTube review of a game which came out like 15 plus years ago, which no one gives a shit about apart from me. I'm hoping to do more reviews in the future. Please make sure to like and subscribe and all that, all that stuff. I'm sorry this isn't a 5-second meme video. Bye. Cheers. I'll catch you later.